So, a couple of weeks ago, we had an election in this country. And some people liked the results, some people did not like the results. But one of the things that I and other rabbis discussed among the country during Friday night sermon was that we all have to get along. This is our country. One country, one people, one nation, America, United States. Now, question is, what if the other side had won? Would it have been as gracious? I'll leave that up to you to decide. But here's the thing. Last Monday, two celebrities decided to do exactly that. They decided that the election is over. The person who won, and they were going to make peace. So they approached the president-elect, sat down, and did an interview. And as a result, Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski were ostracized by half the media on both sides. Their own party or their own people, their own tribe, thought that they were selling out. How dare you talk to the opposition? The other side, the more conservative, went back and said, what a couple of hypocrites. How dare they now go and, kiss, whatever, okay? How dare they do that? And as a result, their ratings have plummeted, and they may lose their show for doing exactly, in my opinion, the right thing. They buried the hatchet, they put differences aside, they accepted the outcome, and as the saying goes, no good deed goes unpunished. It's absurd. It is absurd. They should be celebrated, hence the word celebrity. They should be thanked for leading the way instead of being ostracized and criticized. This is exactly the problem we have. And obviously, people have not learned. The majority of people have not learned. We are living in a world where people start believing things and they don't look at reality. They don't take what some people refer to as the high road. What is the high road? Let's define that. And I'm going to give you my definition. The high road is looking at the better quality of the issue. It's saying, how can we be better? How can I rise above pettiness and the usual bickering that happens? What can I do, to take it one step further, to be an example? Let's segue into the International Criminal Court and the International Court of Justice that this week issued arrest warrants for Benjamin Netanyahu, a duly elected leader of a sovereign country, and his former defense minister for fighting a war that they did not start. This is causing problems. All of this is causing problems because people get into these mindsets and they stay there. And once their mind is made up, it is engraved in stone. Our minds have to be more, to quote Bruce Lee, like water and flow. Be like water, my friend, he said. Now, he was talking about combat, but this is combat. And you have to know when to give way to the situation. And I think this is what God wants us to do in life. You can't set your mind on being rigid about this is the way things ought to be, and this is what I'm going to do. We have to go with the situation that it is. If you are in a car and you get a flat tire, you pull off to the side of the road and figure out a way to deal with it. Either get out if you're handy and do it yourself, call AAA, call your best friend, whatever. Whatever you got to do, you have to deal with the situation. Because if you don't, Your car is not going to veer properly. You're going to ruin your axle. You're going to ruin your rim, and you're going to have more problems. And this is the way it is in life. You have a little fire, you put it out. And you put it out before it gets bigger. You don't ignore it because it'll keep feeding and feeding and feeding until you can't put it out. Things will pile up. That's why we have to attack this right now. I personally I don't necessarily watch that particular network. I don't watch a lot of news. It's not news. If I want to hear somebody's opinion, I'll just go outside and go to the store and say, what do you think? I'm going to get the same validity usually. But I may just turn around and start watching their show just because, to support them. That's what you do when you support people that think in terms of reality. And maybe that's what we should all do. Some of you might have seen a letter or an email from the local Jewish Federation about Trader Joe's. Did you see that? Yeah, I posted it on my social media, posted on my website. I've been sending it out with my weekly emails. A group called, what are they, Code Pink? I don't know where they got their name. I don't know what Code Pink has to do with who they are, but they're obviously anti-Jewish. And they think that Trader Joe's doesn't have a right to do business with Israeli companies or sell to Israel. So they're going to boycott. Okay, fine. We're going to boycott. We're going to go to Trader Joe's, or we're going to buy Empire Chicken, or we're going to buy some of the Israeli products, or their kosher granola, or whatever. That's how you do that. Right? But again, it all stems from an unrealistic view of reality. People don't think. They don't look at the situation. They just get into this absolute rigid, narrow vision, and they stay there. Now, some people are going to stay there. The rest of us have to make inroads into understanding and reaching people and understanding where they're coming from and listening to them and giving people a chance and not being so rigid to attack. Well, if you voted this, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I'm getting rid of you as a friend on social media. It's absurd. The person hasn't changed. They're still who they are, right? They're doing what our forefathers in this country thought we should all do, which is exercise your right, your freedom of expression. It's in the first, I was going to say commandment, the first amendment. Thank you. I knew it was one of those meant words. First commandment. Yeah. Well, the first commandment, I'm the Lord your God, right? I'm it. That's it. That's all there is. Right? So we have to go with that. So think about it and be the first to reach out. When somebody says something you don't agree with, say, well, how'd you arrive at that? I'm curious. I want to hear what you have to say. Right? One mouth, two ears. So let's make a commitment in the new year, 5785, to do that. To make an attempt to listen to people, because if you do it, maybe somebody else will follow your lead, but somebody has to take the start. So let's see what we can do. All right, thank you.